Hey folks, Gary here. Happy Monday to you from Cole and I. Hey Cole, we sure about you happy Monday? Yeah, why not? So happy Monday to you. Hey, for this week, I'd like to look at um, the subject of what does God say? And what I mean by that is this. Um, the world can have all sorts of opinions about who you are, your worth, your value, what you should believe, all sorts of things. But what does God say about you? What does God say about me? That's actually the most important thing. Like I said, there's a whole lot of voices that speak into our lives, but the most important one is God, obviously, Jesus. So today I want to look at Ephesians chapter 3, and we're looking at verses 16 to 19. So let's see what it says. I pray that from his glorious, unlimited resources, he will empower you with inner strength through his Spirit. Then Christ will make his home in your hearts as you trust in him. Your roots will grow down into God's love. Just think about that, right? Who you are is going to grow into God's love, right? Grow down into God's love and keep you strong. And may you have the power to understand, as all God's people should, how wide, how long, how high, and how deep his love is. May you experience the love of Christ, though it is too great to fully understand. Then you'll be made complete with all the fullness of life and power that comes from God. So when we read this prayer of Paul, Paul is actually telling us about who Jesus is and our relationship with him. And Paul knows this. Paul was an enemy to Christ, if you think about it, when he was persecuting Christians and putting them to death and torturing them and all sorts of incredibly horrible things. He was actually working against God. He thought he was working for God, but he was definitely working against God and caused a whole lot of trouble. Yet God still loved him deeply enough to restore him and turn him around. So he understands that. He says, I was a despicable person, but then God came into my life. Well, the same thing can happen in our lives where we can have people say, yeah, they can say all sorts of things about us. What does Jesus say? Well, what Jesus says is this: you are loved. And you're loved so deeply you can't possibly even understand that love. That's how intense that love is from God. Where Paul says, I pray that you would understand it, but it's too great to fully understand. So here's your message for today, for Monday as you start your week. You are loved. You are beloved. You're not just loved by anyone, although that's pretty special. It's good to be loved by people. You're loved by God, the creator of the universe. He loves you. It is a love you can't even, it's so deep you can't even understand it. That's a good thing to walk around with. Doesn't matter what people say. God loves you. God loves me. So walk in that truth today.